I was once a woman full of love, full of dreams, and full of hope in the promises someone told me quietly at night. I believed in forever, in happy endings, in the fairy tale love that made my heart warm and strong. At the center of my dreams was James, the man I loved with all my heart. He said I was his world. He promised he would marry me and we would build a life full of love and happiness. His voice was soft, his smile was big. He talked about a little house with flowers, a dog, and children playing in the yard. I listened and smiled, dreaming of that life every day. I believed him. Oh, how silly I was to trust him so much. Our love felt perfect to me. We walked together in the park, holding hands. We ate ice cream on hot days and watched movies at night. Every word he said, every touch, every laugh we shared, I loved it all. I thought he was my best friend, my future. I trusted him with my heart, my soul, my everything. Then one day, I gave him something more. I was pregnant with his child, a little piece of both of us, a sign of the love I thought we had. I remember that day so clearly. It was a cold morning in my small apartment. I sat on the bathroom floor holding the test. My hands shook, my heart beat loud like a drum. 2 lines appeared. I was scared, excited, happy, all at once. I sat there for an hour, thinking. I imagined telling James. I saw his face light up, his arms pulling me close. I thought he would say, "This is great news, we're starting a family." I wanted to surprise him, so I cooked his favorite meal, chicken and rice. I put a candle on the table and wore my best dress. When he came home, I smiled and said, "James, I'm pregnant." But his face changed, his warm eyes turned cold like winter. He didn't smile, he didn't hug me. He said, "I need time to think," and walked out the door. At first he made excuses. "Work is busy," he said. "I'm tired." I called him every day, but he stopped answering. Days turned into weeks, and then he was gone. No calls, no visits, nothing. My heart broke little by little. Then I learned the truth. He never meant to stay. His promises were lies. And the worst part? He was engaged to another woman the whole time, planning a wedding while I carried his child, dreaming of a future that wasn't real. I sat alone one night, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. My belly was growing, but I felt so small. My family was ashamed of me. "You're a mistake," my mother said. "Don't come home." My friends walked away too. "We can't help you," they said. I had nothing. No love, no money, no one to hold my hand during the hardest time of my life. Pregnancy was tough on me. I worked in a small shop, standing all day, selling bread and milk. My legs hurt. My back felt like it would break. I didn't have money for good food, just bread and water most days. I walked home in the dark, so tired I could barely stand. At night, I lay in bed, holding my belly, talking to my baby. "We'll be okay," I whispered. "I'll take care of you." I went to doctor visits alone, sitting in waiting rooms with happy couples. I smiled at them, but inside I felt so alone. I cried myself to sleep, asking, "Why did this happen to me?" One rainy afternoon, I felt her kick inside me. It was small but strong. I put my hand on my belly and felt it again. Something changed in me that day. A fire started burning. I wiped my tears and said, "I won't give up. I'll be strong for you. And I'll never forgive James for leaving us." That promise kept me going. The day my daughter was born was hard but beautiful. I was in the hospital, alone, holding the bed tight. The pain was big, like a storm inside me. I shouted, I cried, but I didn't stop. Then I heard her. A tiny cry, soft and sweet. The nurse put her in my arms. She was so small, with big eyes and little hands. I named her Lily, like the flower that grows even in hard places. That night, I looked at her sleeping and whispered, "I'll fight for you, Lily. I'll give you a good life. And one day, I'll make him pay." For 5 years, I worked hard to keep my promise. I got 2 jobs, cleaning houses in the morning, serving coffee at night. My hands were rough, my eyes were tired, but I didn't stop. I saved every coin I earned. I rented a small apartment, 1 room with a bed and a table. It wasn't much, but it was ours. Lily grew fast. She had curly hair and a loud laugh that made me smile. I taught her to walk, holding her as she took tiny steps. I taught her to say mama, and every time she did, my heart felt warm. At night, I told her stories about brave girls who fought dragons and won. I wanted her to know she was strong, like me. But the pain inside me didn't go away. It turned into anger, then into revenge. I didn't forget James. I watched him from far away, living his happy life. He had a big house with a garden, a pretty wife, 2 kids, a good job at a bank. I saw pictures online, him smiling, laughing like I never existed, like Lily wasn't his daughter. That made my blood hot. I couldn't let him be happy while we struggled. I started planning my revenge, slow and careful. I learned everything about him. I found his office, a tall building with shiny glass. I walked by sometimes, watching him talk to people in suits. I asked questions to his old friends, pretending I was just curious. I found his secrets. Money he took from work, lies he told his wife. I kept notes in a little book, writing every detail. I waited for the right time. One day, I sent his wife a letter. I put a picture of Lily inside with her big eyes and my smile. I wrote, "This is his daughter. He left us for you. He lied to us both." I mailed it and waited. A week later, I saw her leave their house with bags and their kids. She was crying, shouting at him. She took the house, the money, everything. But I wasn't done. I wanted him to feel my pain, to lose it all. I called his boss next. I told him, "James took money from you. Check his work." They found the proof in 2 days. He lost his job that week. His name was in the news. James the thief. People stopped talking to him. His friends turned away. The man who walked away from us so easily now had nothing. No family, no job, no home. One rainy day, he came to me. I opened my door, and there he was, wet, thin, sad. His eyes were red, his clothes were old. "Please," he said, his voice shaking. "I want to see my daughter. I'm sorry. I have nothing left." He looked so small, so broken. I remembered every tear I cried, every night I worked late, every time Lily asked, "Where's Daddy?" I had no kindness left in me. I looked into his eyes, the same eyes that once promised me love, and said, "No. You lost that chance the day you left us. You don't get to come back now." I closed the door, slow and strong. I turned to Lily, who was playing with her toys. She looked up and smiled, bright like the sun. I took her hand and we walked to the park. The rain stopped. The sky was clear. I felt light, free at last. I wasn't the woman who was hurt and left alone anymore. I was stronger. I had survived. I had built a life for me and Lily with my own hands. And in the end, I had won.